That's it. If it gives you that trouble, it could be the high, low resolution. And let's see.
Okay, let's start.
Sure.
Let's get going.
Okay, welcome everybody. Thanks for coming to the 3 Joules for a brand new series of the Asian Classics Institute, ACI, course, led by the wonderful and incredible Chang, who has been studying here for quite some time. Let me tell you quickly about the 3 Joules. The 3 Joules is a non-profit organization started 20 years ago to give people the opportunity to connect to deep Buddhist concepts and light experiences of life. So we teach meditation, yoga, and philosophy classes, workshops, and the rest, mostly free of charge or by donation, or for as little as we have to charge you. For any of the Buddhist teachings, we charge 0, so it's all by donation, and you're welcome to donate at the door when you go out, or not at all if you can't. The point here is that the teachings that are contained in the Asian Classics Institute courses, the ACI, which I'm sure G is going to talk about, began right here in New York City 20 years ago. The very first time they got translated from the Tibetan Buddhist philosophical university system into the Western system was right here 20 years ago by the founder of this center, Geshe Michael Roach. And he condensed the 20-year philosophical study that happens at nunneries and monkeries, monasteries, monkeries in Tibet, that go all the way back to ancient India, to the time of the Buddha, all these texts and ideas, and translated them. So condensed 20 years into a 5-year course, 18 courses, of which you're just landing at the first course, first class of the first course. And these are core basic ideas that, if put into practice, can truly transform your life and the way you experience existence. We wish you very much every happiness you seek for. It's an incredible opportunity. This does not happen on a regular basis. There's only 2 classes going on, Tuesdays and Thursdays, of this ACI course in New York City. So thanks for coming. Welcome and thank you for teaching.
There are cushions in that room. Yeah, just get comfy. Don't be shy.
Good.
We're all going to get really close by the end of our 12-week session. So. Could you turn that AC off? We're just going to sit and start with a meditation. So I'm going to turn the AC off just for now, and then I'll put it back on so we're not hot.
My job is to check it's both ran. Yeah.
Get comfy on your cushion. We're going to sit for just a little bit, not too long. It's a hot day, so. Close your eyes. Find a comfortable seat. Just kind of play around with the weight of your body. Sometimes I notice I have to lean back a little bit. I tend to lean forward, so just get comfortable and find the center of your body. Relax your face. Relax your mouth, the corners of your mouth. Place your tongue on the top of your mouth, the roof of your mouth. Relax your forehead. Relax your eyes. We're going to take 10 focused breaths. We're going to focus on the tip of your nose. And every inhale, exhale is 1. Inhale, exhale is 2. We're just going to sit here for a little bit to focus our minds. If you get distracted, start again at 1. Now I want you to think of someone in your life that you look up to. It can be a mentor, a close friend. It could come in the form of a teacher, your mother or your father. Whoever that is, you just take a moment and think of that person that comes to your mind and bring him or her in front of you, seated right in front of you. Not like a photo, but as if they're right there. You can almost just reach out and touch them. See them looking across. And smiling at you. Thank them for coming. And give them an offering. Maybe a little gift, something that pleases them, that delights them. And use your imagination. Be a piece of chocolate or their favorite drink, or it could be the sunset, something that you know that they love. It could be the stars. But offer that to them. And then think about the worst deed that you did today. It could be a thought that came in your mind. It can be something that you did. Maybe you lost your patience. But one thing that you feel like is not your best self. offer that to this person and confess to them with regret. And have the intention of not wanting to act like that again. And then think about something that you just rocked on today, you're really proud of. You could have acted one way, but you acted better. You made a good choice. And offer that up to this person that you look up to. And rejoice in it. Be proud of that moment and relish in it. See this person across from you get smaller and smaller, slowly coming close to you, to your heart center, becoming about the size of your thumb. And have this person float up to the top of your head, to the crown of your head, and sit nicely. You can always feel the weight on the crown of your head. And have them face the same direction as you, that you're facing. And have them rest right there. The rest of tonight. Take a couple more breaths. And open your eyes when you're ready. Nice room. Nice. Very nice. How was that? Was it okay? It was okay. Good. It's the first time I led a meditation. Okay. So here we go. Thank you so much for coming. It's summer, so it's time to play, and here we are studying Buddhist philosophy. So thank you. I thought that I would start off a little bit of who I am and how I ended up here, because like 2 months ago I was there, and it's a little strange, an honor, but very strange. So I just want to give you a little bit of a background of me, and then we're going to spend the kind of first half of the class going through an overview of what you should expect from the courses, or this course in particular. We're going to also kind of introduce each other in this class as well. I think it's important to know who's next to you and behind you. They may end up being your closest friends that you have. I know some people in this room are definitely my closest friends that I've had, and have been my lifeline in many different times of my life. So I think that's important. Then we'll have a little Q&A. If you have any questions, we'll take a break, and then we'll start the class off right after the break, okay? So it's 2 hours, it'll go a little quick, and if it gets a little confusing, feel free to raise your hand and ask a question. Don't be shy. So it's strange when I think about the Buddhist path and how the practice came to me, because it's not something I really sought after. It really did, like I feel like a lot of great things that just kind of comes to you, and you kind of fall into it. And I feel, at the time at least, that's what happened. I mean, I look back now and it's clear that there was all a divine plan that I wasn't really part of. Someone had the plan, but not me. And I wanted to share that story with you. About 8-ish years ago, I was in New York. I had moved to New York to live the dream, some dream that I had at the time, and I was working in advertising. I'm a creative director now. At the time, I was an art director, and working way too much. Drinking a lot, smoking a lot, drinking a lot of Red Bull. I had like a lot of memories of Red Bull in my life at the time. It was not good. Lots of late nights, weekends, that sort of thing. I started practicing yoga for really two reasons. One was so my ass could look better. Really. And the second one was maybe to cut back on stress, but I didn't really believe that was a true antidote, So I just thought, well, at least it would be less stressful if my ass does look better, so maybe that's what I will do towards. And that's really how I started kind of thinking of the world a little differently. At the time, with all the work I was doing, something started to hit my heart where I felt like I wanted to contribute to the world in a greater way. Not too big, but just a little bit of something that was doable and manageable for me. And I had a philosophy that I had since college, and it came from a place of guilt more. I think it was like a Christian guilt thing, where I wanted to always give back, but it was kind of within a certain framework. So I had a lot of friends in college that were political activists, and they were always protesting and doing great things and trying to change the world and social activism. And I went to school in Michigan. I grew up in Portland. It's very cold in Michigan. I don't know if you know what the winters are like, but they're brutal. And it wasn't my thing to be out in the snow. So I volunteered by donating my design work to design their flyers and posters. I was like, that's my way of helping them. I won't go out there, but I will give you poster designs. And I started to see that was my way of trying to give back to the world. While I was working in advertising and taking sexy ass yoga classes, I thought it would be nice to find a way to donate my time once again. And I was looking for a nonprofit to work with. And I was very particular about the nonprofits because some nonprofits can not really have the same type of design that I wanted to create. And I was at a yoga workshop and met a woman by the name of Jessica, who is now a client of mine and has a wonderful yoga retreat program. So if you are interested in that, please let me know. And a wonderful practitioner. And was telling her how I'm looking for a nonprofit and something that, felt virtuous and good, but, that's not too demanding, but good design. And she introduced me to a man who has now become one of my closest friends and confidants, who is by the name of Mark Trepet, and I think he's probably watching somewhere in Arizona. Hi, Mark. And I walked into Mark's office, who at the time who had an ad agency, and he was donating his time part of an organization called the ACI1 organization, Asian Classic Input Project. And it was founded by Geshe Michael Roach, who Hector had just mentioned, founded this institution, the Three Jewels. And I started doing pro bono work, and the Asian Classic Input Project was about saving ancient Sanskrit and Tibetan texts, and that sounded pretty cool and pretty noble, and like seems like a good cause. And from there, as I started kind of donating my time, Mark came to me one day and said, "Hey, do you want to design a flyer for a class?" And I said, "Cool, what kind of class?" Because it's a Buddhist class. I'm like, "All right." And so, the designer in me says, "Is it one poster? Is it a series of posters?" I got into the scope of work. What's the premise, right? And he says, "It's a series of classes. It's 18 courses. And this man, John Stilwell, will be teaching it in a couple of weeks. And you should design the first flyer." I said, "Okay." So that was my first flyer that I designed for this course. That was 7 years ago. And at the time, I decided to leave advertising and start my own design shop. And I thought, I'm designing this. I'm starting my own design shop. I should go check out this class that this guy John is teaching, and maybe I can network and find some new business. It seems like a good networking opportunity, right? Because that's how entrepreneurs think. We're always trying to network and hustle. I was like, I'm going to go check out this class. And I sat right there, and no commitments, right? Just the first class. The 12 weeks is, I don't know, I'm not into that kind of commitment. I'll